It's such an ironic name for a school to have because, I mean, how is Balance the school name? Is Balance, and it is the most unbalanced school in the entire game. How does that make any sense? If this is like a scale, like, you know, the thing that Judgment holds, like the scale, if this is like the scale, Balance is tipping the scale towards its favor and all the other schools are on the other side. It's breaking the scale, dude. It's all the way down here and the other schools are up here. That doesn't make any sense for it to be such a good school and it be named Balance. It should be named Broken because that's all it is. It just breaks everything. Everything that it has in its arsenal is broken. I don't know what just happened, but I don't know what just happened. I'm trying to fix it. Give me a sec. Dude, if me just having technical difficulties just now doesn't freaking show the embodiment of how broken Balance is, I can't freaking think of a better analogy, dude. You talk about Balance and something breaks because they're too good. Balance is too good of a school compared to all the other schools. Unbalanced, broken, not balanced. That's what it should be called, not balanced, because it's too good. As soon as you're balanced, you basically win everything. All the spells that you have are broken. It doesn't make any sense. And now I'm gonna talk about what makes Balance way too good compared to every other school.
Cruising down the street with a freak, chopper on the seat, AK with a beam, let it eat, bustin' on repeat.
Balance, as a definition, it means a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. As a Wizard 101 description, it means that Balance wizards are wise, clever, thoughtful, and charming. Balance wizards are great at adjusting the rules of combat. And if you've played Wizard 101 and you know Balance, well, I mean, it's actually pretty broken. That's what it is. Not balanced at all. It's freaking broken. Balance's name as a school should honestly be the biggest meme. Like the game isn't already. But like seriously, if Balance were actually balanced, I'd have an actual hairline. The school of Balance actually being like even with the other school is like saying a cat is even with a lion. Or an Android is better than an iPhone. Hashtag Team iPhone, you dig? You know what I'm saying? iPhone 8 status. Get at me, boy. Or even Sierra Mist is better than Sprite. And we all know that Sprite is way better. It literally doesn't get any better than that. Balance. 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 Balance, 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 balance. There's really just one main quality that makes Balance unbalanced. The freaking spells. Now, I'm gonna say the most broken spells that Balance has in its arsenal in no particular order, starting off with Judgment. Judgment in itself is a good spell around all levels, from 1 to like 125. Why? Because it takes any amount of pips that you have and turns it into damage. So say an opponent has 300 health, and you have 2 pips, and with your damage, enchant, pierce, and etc., use the Judgment, you're most likely gonna kill them with no problem. This spell is not overpowered, but when it's used correctly, it is. With certain strategies, Judgment can be unstoppable. There's strategies to where you just spam feints and then you shatter, and then no matter if they have a tower shield or not, because Balance can only be shielded by with the tower shield, then they're still gonna die. And there's way more cheekier like freaking strategies than that, like just spam it or like get all power pips and just use Judgment when you have max power pips, like stuff like that at lower levels or even like level 50 and stuff, which is not a good system when a spell like that can be broken to where a point, even if you shield it, you can't beat it, and that's terrible. Moving on to minions. Balance has 2 main good god golden minions, dude. Like, these minions are perfect. The Mander and the Paladin. Both of these minions can spam you with buffs and shields while simultaneously spamming your opponent with debuffs and traps. Now, other minions in this game do this, but not to this degree. These minions are deadly to every school. They can use spells like Elemental/Spirit Shield to make their user have 50% shields for each school. That in itself, it's crazy. Those spells are actually broken for Balance to have. The Elemental Shields and Spirit Shields for 3 schools for 0 pips, that's ridiculous. That spell combined with the minion spamming it is broken when all other minions of all the other schools don't have the ability to give aid from every type of opponent faced. For example, the Fire Minion is a very good minion. It spams damage over time spells, and it makes it hard for the opponent to shield. But it can only give the person that it casted a minus 70% Storm and Ice Shield, or a minus 80 Fire Shield. Can you see the problem that this has? The Fire Minion can only shield against 3 schools, while the Balance Minion can shield against 6, with the exception of Balance because there's no Balance Shield. And with there being no Balance Shield, Balance already has a huge advantage. Now look, alright, I'm gonna give Balance the benefit of the doubt. I know Balance is supposed to have a part of each school, hence the name, Inheritance. Every school needs a way to heal itself, right? Although not all schools myth have the ability to do so, but every school needs the ability to do so. But Balance has this opportunity, dude. Balance has Helping Hands, and Helping Hands is a good spell for Balance to have to use as a healing spell, dude. It's way more OP than all the other schools' healing spells besides Life and Death, but it wasn't underpowered like Fire's was, per se. And with the added benefits of incoming/outgoing healing, Helping Hands can do a very good amount to the user, but here's my problem. My problem is Helping Hands 2.0 Availing Hands. Availing Hands is basically a balanced school's Satyr. Satyr made life so good because every school needed them life mastery when they wanted to heal themselves effectively with the Satyr. Whenever you crit, it still does double when it's a healing spell. The boost this gives to schools with good healing spells is an unfair advantage to all the other schools that don't have a good healing spell. Although the rate that you critical changes with the level, the effect is still the same. If you're level 60 Balance and you crit an Availing Hands, it's easily doing 700 through 1000 plus a round. If you include the incoming and outgoing boost from the Waterworks gear and the max health around the levels like 3.5 or 3.7k, you're essentially getting full health off an OP spell specifically for your school. Compared to the other schools like Fire and Storm who have healing spells for their school, it's nowhere near as good. Personally, dude, in order to fix the Availing Hands problem, I think that Balance should have just been left off with Helping Hands as a primary heal. But what's done is done. I'm just addressing the many, many problems this school has to offer. Moving on. Mana freaking Burn. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Guys, I just don't understand why they would possibly make this spell that a school should have trained. So, if you don't know what Mana Burn is, basically it damages you for having pips. In the process, you take damage and it takes away 3 pips that you have. But if you have 3 power pips, you lose all those motherfuckers, so you essentially just lost 6 pips, my guy. The biggest problem with this is that there's almost no counter to it, unless you want to spam hits, and that is not always useful in a PvP match. The only way to defeat enemies is to use spells that cost pips. There's no way to not gain pips while in battle, so giving a school the power to damage you for something that you have no control of is ridiculous. You need pips in order to use spells. That's just one of the most basic rules of Wizard 101. They teach you that in the tutorial tip when you fight Malastare in the little Stormy Tower and Golem Court. They teach you that. You need pips in order to cast spells, right? Unless you have 0 pip hits that are weak as hell. And you'll just gain a pip and the Mana Burn will just do more damage. This spell is kind of like making people, like humans, pay for air. We all need it in order to progress, you know, like live. So why charge someone for a necessity? If we didn't have to breathe air in order to live, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't do it, especially if people would charge for it. And while we're on the topic of Mana Burn and spells that you have no control over, dude, there's a spell that has pretty much the same effect as Mana Burn, but it's called Supernova. Alright? Spells like Supernova make it almost useless to use auras, like Infallible or Fortify, etc., because they can cause you a lot of damage just for using it. Unlike Mana Burn, there is an easy counter to it, though. I mean, just don't use auras, right? Sounds easy, right? Right? Well, it's not always that easy. Well, imagine if your pet has Maycast Infallible and Maycast Fortify. Is that suddenly my fault when no other school except Balance can easily punish me for something that I have no control over? You know what I'm saying? Like, if us players had the ability to choose when our pets use a Maycast, it would be a much more fair system, because then it would be no one's fault but yours for making your pet cast the aura. But oh wait, we can't. And Balance can punish us for that inability. And this spell is 2 pips and does mass amounts of damage. 535 without an enchant or damage included. The solution to this is to either nerf this spell, honestly. The damage done for the aura being used could be way less, because, I mean, sometimes we have no control over whether our pets can cast an aura or not, and sometimes our pets will cast them all the time, very frequently, or sometimes we won't cast them at all. And what I'm just trying to get at is that it's unfair for us to be punished for us not having to control when we use that, and for us being punished for us having pips when we have no way to not gain pips. Do you know what I'm saying? And for last, but certainly not least, you guessed it, drum roll please, Lore fuck Master. Everyone knows what Lore Master is. It's basically the most broken spell this school has to offer. Alright, 4 pips, 420 damage, varies, without an enchant and 2 debuffs, a weakness, and a mantle. Oh, I don't think you heard me, right? 2 debuffs, 4 pips. This spell ranks pretty high on the list of most spam spells, right after, like, you know, Wild Bolt, honestly. But when you're around the level to craft this beast of a spell, the 2 debuffs matter significantly less, mostly because when you're like level 60 through 70, you have a really good amount of accuracy, so you won't fizzle as much. But once you get around level 95, 100 plus, and get the Hades/Darkmoor gear, the gear only gives you enough accuracy for you to have 90 through 100% accuracy for your school, which is great, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about fizzling, but if you're fighting a balance that spams Lore Master and you get a 35 mantle on you every time, that 100% accuracy instantly turns into 65%. Now you're just barely powering through any spell, and that's deadly. Every round matters when you're in a PvP match or when you're questing, so when you fizzle, you basically just wasted an entire round for nothing, and your opponent gets a giant advantage bigger than what they already have if they're balanced. And at a lower level where the accuracy is much less, it's much worse. Like, as soon as you get this spell when you're like level 50 and under, dude, the easiest strategy applies. Buy a balance mastery and just use this spell over and over and over and over and over until they die, essentially. You will still be weakening their hits and taking their health down a lot, even if you hit them through a tower shield or not. There are very little counters to this strategy, honestly, unless you're like a Jade, Juju, or an Angel, and even those strategies are running low on how useful they can be, with the Pierce getting higher and higher. And the simplest solution to this is to just make Lore Master 5 pips. Please make Lore Master 5 pips, so it's less likely to be spammed. And honestly, the spell Savage Paw should be 4 pips, but it's 5 pips and it just gives 1 buff, a 25% blade, which is actually backwards as fuck compared to Lore, when Lore gives 2 debuffs and freaking Savage Paw just gives 1 buff. Kind of like the Brimstone Revenant spell. You know how Brimstone gives you like a plus 25% trap on for fire and it's only 4 pips? I think that it should be that way, but with Savage Paw, and switch Savage Paw to make it 4 pips, and then Lore Master from 4 pips to 5 pips, because Lore Master is too good. In conclusion, these spells, without being used in any specific way, are just too good alone. If you combine these school spells with any other school spells, really tough strategies are born, and balance is already a tough enough school because there's no way to properly defend against it. Besides having set, resist, and dispels, the only shields you can use against it to really defend yourself are tower shields and absorbs, and let's be honest, who really uses absorbs? So it's already tough enough because you have no way to properly defend yourself. I'm not saying that this school is the end-all be-all, because it has its drawbacks in areas like questing, but it's far from balanced. Alright, the simplest solution I can offer is for some of these spells to simply be nerfed. You know what I'm saying? Like, please, for example, make Lore Master 5 pips, and then freaking 50% of our problems are freaking solved right then and there, honestly. Like, if you could just make Lore Master 5 pips, dude, I can promise you balance won't be that bad, but it won't be as good as it is now. I honestly can't see why this hasn't already been done. And I know there's people gonna be defending it, like, yo, balance isn't that good, this, that, and the third, you just gotta come up with better strategies. Like, sure, but I mean, it has an unfair advantage in itself by just being balanced and not having a way to defend yourself, and these spells making it even more broken is ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys, I just really had to let that off my chest, because balance is really pissing me off. It's just honestly too good of a school for it not to be fixed already, and it's pissing me off. Let me know down in the comment section down below if you guys did agree with something I said in this video, dude, whether it be the Mana Burn, the Judgment, the Minions, the Lore Master, anything that I've said in this video. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know your arguments down in the comment section down below. I will read all of them, and I might even argue with you back and forth. We might have a little playful banter. Just don't get mad at me, dude. Don't report me, alright? But what I'm trying to say is leave a comment on this video, dude. I love you guys all so very much. And, been gone for a long time, not gonna lie. I'm just not gonna act like that hasn't happened. We recently hit 6,000 subscribers, which is pretty great. Thank you guys also very much for that. Gonna be back, be more consistent on Wizard 101 and my channel from now on. I'm gonna be great. But yo, if you guys could do me this big favor and give this video to at least 100 likes, guys. I mean, I have been gone for a minute, but yo, I mean, I know that you guys are still there. Yo, I've been gone and we've literally gained subscribers. So if you guys can get this video to 100 likes, that'd make your boy so happy. And yeah, I love you guys also very much. Yo, check out the description. There's a whole bunch of new links and stuff, like new links on my social media, like my Snapchat, my Twitter, my Instagram, all that stuff. And I now have a Patreon, so if you want to do that, you could. You'd be awesome if you guys did. I mean, I'm not gonna require you guys to do that, of course, because I mean, who really wants to give away money to somebody? But yo, if you want to help me out and you guys want to see more better Wiz content, dude, I need to get a better computer. Honestly, I'm not gonna like use like Patreon like to make me get a better computer or whatever, because I do have a job and stuff. But I mean, I have to pay for this lovely iPhone that I have. So I mean, yeah, if you guys want to help me out, you can help me out by literally just donating $3 on Patreon. The link will be down in the description down below. There's also some special or nice ass rewards that I have for Patreon set, so check it out if you want. It's no requirement, just you watching this video is actually honestly great. And yeah, guys, that's really about it, dude. I mean, more videos to come, streams, we're gonna be lit. If you guys have anything that you guys want to see, let me know down in the comment section down below as well. 100 likes once again, and still it, guys. Balance, more like broken, more like bad, more like too good balance. I'm sorry, that was terrible.